All right, today we are focusing on idea and content. These are parts of our 6+1 writing traits that we're using as we explore our writer's notebook and learn to be better writers. As a reminder, I want to keep sharing with you our essential questions, making sure you're keeping them in your mind as we move through each activity. And so those essential questions are: how does revision make writing stronger? How does our voice show our ownership of writing? And what makes writing worth reading? Okay, these are some vocabulary words we're going to focus on. You may recognize a few of them, considering that we've just been talking about them in recent days' class. We're not actually at the point where I feel comfortable in moving us on yet, so we're going to kind of spend some more time dissecting these words and making sure that we all are kind of on the same page with the definitions. The words that we're going to focus on today are idea, content, thesis statement, objective, subjective, expository writing, and persuasive writing. I would like for you to write down the definitions to these words on the paper that I've provided you, the handout, as we move through. Please feel free to pause and take time writing the definitions. If you need more time, you can go back, you can move forward on the video presentation. We're going to start with what we mean when we say idea. There's lots of ways that we could construct idea and think of idea, but for our purposes, idea is the main message that you as the author want to get across to your readers. It's important to have a focused idea in our writing so that we stay on topic and keep our content relevant to our main message. We don't want to start with a particular message in mind and then derail what we're trying to say by not focusing the rest of the paper on that idea. And the way we focus that idea is we use content. Content is the information that an author uses to support their idea or main message, as you can see there in parentheses. Content can be researched fact, or it can be opinion, but the author should never use content that does not support their idea. So to give you an example, if my idea behind my paper is maybe on school uniforms being bad, I wouldn't want to, in the middle of my paper, start giving you some topic that doesn't relate back to school uniforms being bad. For example, I wouldn't want to say something like, school uniforms are bad because of this reason and this reason and this reason, and I like dogs because they're very nice. That last part of the information is opinion, but it doesn't really support any of your main message. So it's really just there, and it's uncomfortable to put things like that into writing, so we want to avoid that. Your thesis statement. Now, I'm sure some of you are familiar with thesis statements, and some of you, this may be the first time you hear thesis statement. A thesis statement, or a summary statement, is 1 to 2 sentences that sum up the entire message / idea behind a written assignment, such as an essay, book report, etc. Thesis statements are really important to academic writing. Without them, we sometimes find that students write unfocused papers, or they lose track of their main idea. So I've given you an example here. It's not perhaps the greatest example, but it does get across the idea behind what a thesis statement is. And that example is, dogs are better than cats because they are more loyal, smarter, and they are capable of adapting better in diverse situations. That's all opinion. I don't really have facts to back it up, but as you can see, that entire sentence tells you exactly what my essay would be about. Now, I finished grading our quizzes that we took not too long ago, and we really had a hard time with objective. Objective is writing without any feeling or opinion. Objective writing is going to state facts, but it won't try to pick a side. An objective writing assignment might give you pros and cons. Like, this is what's good about this situation, this is what's bad about it, but it's never going to say, and I think because of this, this is the reason why this is right or wrong. Objective writing is just giving you facts. It doesn't have any opinion. On the adverse side, we have subjective writing, and this is writing with feelings and opinions. Subjective writing lends itself well to argument, so we tend to use it more when we're writing persuasive. In a subjective writing assignment, you might give pros and cons, and then you would argue why the pros are better than the cons, or the cons outweigh the pros, so you might not want to use the product, for example. So subjective writing is with feeling and with opinion. You will still have facts with subjective writing, but they may be biased in nature, and we'll talk more about that when we get to persuasive writing. So expository writing, I know we worked a lot with this a couple of days in class, but I'm still not convinced that we're there yet. So expository writing is writing that is objective in nature. It does not pick sides, it just provides facts. When we're using expository writing, the really important thing is to be objective. We don't want to say that one thing is better than the other. We want to just make sure that our audience is getting both sides. And you'll see that in the example that I have for you in class today. If we want to provide an argument and we want to pick one side over the other in writing, then we use persuasive writing, and it is subjective in nature. And we may give facts, but those facts may be skewed or biased in order to promote one side of our argument over the other side. Persuasive writing, as we talked about in the last couple of days, is used in advertisement, but it's also used in argumentative papers where you may be researching why one option would be better than the other. These are really popular in academic writing, and we'll probably use some sort of persuasive writing as we move through this unit. This is all I have for you on this presentation. Go ahead at this point and finish filling out your handout and read the examples and follow the directions that go with them. Later.